All right.
All right, you're all set.
Okay. Calling to order Park and Rec meeting, March 4th, 2024. It is 7:16 PM. Okay. Start with approval of the meeting minutes from our brief January meeting. We got a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Got a second?
Second.
Dan, second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, approved. Okay.
Can I ask a question, Mark? Not on specific minutes. Do we have for the past minutes that past meetings that we had no minutes for?
Yes, she has been going through them, and taking minutes from our Zoom meetings. So I don't know where
Okay.
she is with that. She's actually sent me some copies, and I probably laxed getting them out to you guys. But let me make a note of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could look back to refresh my mind too with the recordings, but it's easier to look at minutes.
Yeah.
She just sent them out this morning at 10:59 to Mark and then CC'd me.
That was the last meeting, right?
That was the January 24th, it looks like.
Yeah, that's when we had to meet. That wasn't much in that meeting, just to get approval for the
Kitty letter.
Yeah, Kitty. Okay. So we'll work on that, Gina. That's
Okay, good. Thanks.
But I do know she has been going through the previous ones when we didn't have Brooke and before she was hired, so she has been going through it.
Okay.
Any public comment from the public? I don't see anybody from the public, so I'm gonna say
None.
let's because John's here, let's bump John right up if that's fine with everybody.
Yep.
All right, John, how we doing?
Good. I've got a little list here. It shouldn't take me too long, but probably the biggest thing going on right now is Styles and Hart. The bids went out. I was told 23 companies pulled bids. And I believe the deadline is this Friday, I believe. I meant to look at it, but I ran out of time.
Yep.
And they had a pre-bid walkthrough last Thursday. And I think there was about 8 or 10 contractors there. I wasn't there. I wished I was there. I actually didn't get notified of it till later in the day, but so that's moving forward. That's gonna happen. The money's there, and I think that's pretty exciting for the parks, and of course it's Park and Rec. So more information I can pass on to you guys, I will once I have it. That's the biggest update I have for Styles and Hart.
All right.
Good. Do you think of those 23 people, was it a mandatory pre-bid? Do you know?
I'm not involved in that. That's a town hall thing.
Okay.
I don't know what the scoop is on any of that. I sent you guys the latest prints.
Yep.
The only changes that I heard through the grapevine is they might do one parking lot and not two. I don't have any information about that at all, but that was a little birdie told me that, so I don't know anything. I can't enlighten anyone on the whole thing.
And what were the two parking lots?
One is with one, which is probably the best one, is it's right at the entrance where you go up and over the hump where the guardrails are. The parking lot's supposed to be right there on the right.
Mm-hmm.
The second one that as part of the prints is right behind Imperial Garden. The town bought those two lots.
Right.
They were going to put a second one there and then a walkway that goes along the guardrail to the main entrance to take you into the park.
Okay.
There's multiple kiosks in there. There's multiple bridges and things that are going to be in there. It's all part of those prints. If you guys felt adventurous and wanted to take a look at them.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think with that second parking lot, and I can't remember for a fact, but when we were discussing it, I think it might have been like a potential parking lot if the money was there or something along those lines. And my opinion, I think everybody was of the same opinion. If we can do it now, let's do it now. That way we're not looking for money later. So maybe that's what happened to the second parking lot. I don't know for sure.
You see that?
was
Yeah, I
that
don't know much
CPC
about
was-
that,
yeah.
but hopefully I'll have more information as each meeting goes along, and I'll keep you guys, in the loop.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, I was at a meeting at Bridgewater State, last week for the new State Farm Trail that Kitty's, the driving force behind. That's my first meeting I've actually been to for those guys. There was all kinds of people there. There was a couple professors from the college. It was at the college in the science, mathematics building. And there was all kinds of people on Zoom, and, that's moving forward. I'm getting my feet wet with that one. They asked me to come, well, you guys know about that, and,
Yep.
it was worth going to. It's really gonna be nice when it's done. They're looking for some more money, I guess, and a few other things they're trying to finalize, but that's also with work in motion, and I'll keep you guys in the loop on that too.
Hey, John,
Um,
are they looking for the CPC money? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know. I think they already have money.
Or
They,
is that grant money?
yeah,
is that
they've had
grant?
monies. They have, I don't know where it came from. I'm getting up to speed on this one. I don't know where everything has come from. I know they're getting a donation from the gentleman that's building all the houses on Curve Street, the old Cumberland Farms land. Cause
Yep.
he's tying a path in from that development into that park.
Oh,
So I
great.
think, yeah, I think he donated over $10,000 towards it.
Wow.
I don't know who that gentleman is.
But, CPC wouldn't be involved because it's state land, right? It's not town land, right, Gina?
Danny, CPC gave, I want to say 40,000 for phase 2, which was, the
But
surveying.
isn't that state property?
The state there was an agreement, the state turned it over to the town for
Oh,
that
okay.
property. So that's it. And I
Right.
think CPC did, as I said, like 40,000.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Okay,
get more-
thank you.
I'll get more accurate info, Danny, and I promise next time
No, that's good. I didn't realize that they transferred. That, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
that's gonna be
Thank
cool.
you.
That's gonna be cool, cause that thing ends up meeting up with the Taunton River and goes all the way down to the Summer Street Bridge and, a couple little parking lots, and I'll get you more. I hate to give information if I don't know the whole complete story, but the whole thing's gonna be pretty cool.
Awesome.
It is.
It'll
It's
be a
gonna be nice.
walking trail? Is that what it is?
It's a
Yeah.
big, long
It's a walking
trail,
trail. Wow,
it's a
it's good.
big, long trail, Tommy, leading from the last house on the left on Summer Street all the way down to the Middleborough line. In the
Wow.
woods, way to the behind the fields. You can't see it right now, but I haven't been in there. I don't, but I get, look, from what they keep talking about, it's gonna be a pretty cool little, adventure out there.
Isn't it like a mile and a quarter, mile and a half?
Yeah,
trail?
it's long, it goes that whole distance.
Yeah.
All the way down Summer Street, so it's gotta be at least a mile and a half, I think, or something, I don't know.
Great.
But
Yeah.
Kitty's absolutely she's we all know, she's the driving force, and, you know, she's got all kinds of people tied into that. She's got her act together. The woman is amazing.
She's
good.
She's been around a long time. She's very,
Yeah,
very
she,
good.
She knows her stuff. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
Yep, I think she told me she got something like 50 or 60 letters of support. There were tons of them.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool when it's up and running. As
Great.
far as other parks are concerned, I don't have a lot to report on. I got a couple little small roofs that me and Smalley have talked about doing. I'd love to get the Carver's parking lot at some point,
Hmm.
at least cleaned up a little bit. It's kind of treacherous in there. I talked to Bristol Permit the other day about getting a couple picnic tables made for Titicate. There's 3 campsites down there. And maybe throw a
Good.
picnic table in there or two,
Yeah.
you know. Little things like that. It's a good time of year to start trimming some stuff, so I'm gonna get out there, start trimming some of the trails. I had a bunch of trees down in the winter. I was out there with a chainsaw cleaning them up and,
Is the couch gone?
huh?
There was a couch at Titicate last time I was there.
Where? Recently?
Towards-
Recently?
No, maybe like a year ago.
No, that would be gone. Any type of that stuff. Was it in the park? I don't remember it, but it's
It
definitely.
was in the park and it was closer to the river on the side. Cause we left and said, well, somebody has their couch and they can sit and watch the river.
I have not
It might
seen
be
it, but
taken out now.
Yeah, maybe somebody grabbed it. I've never seen it. Maybe I missed it, but I got a few people in all these parks right now that are they're putting me in the loop in case I missed something and emailing me, and they're not actually park stewards, but they're just, I call them friends of the parks, and I gave my information, and so they email me different stuff, and I've been pretty fortunate to have a couple great people that are on top of things if I don't see something, so.
Right.
John, that's key, you know, that's key. More eyes you have on the property, the better, you know, the better chances
Yeah.
you won't get the damage. Cause
Yeah.
years ago, they used to have picnic tables out there. I'm talking many years ago. And the stuff used to get damaged. They used
Yeah.
to, you know, burn it, just
Yeah.
kids. But if the neighbors really take to it, then if the neighbors like it and you're there all the time, things will work out well, and we won't have the vandalism that we've had in years
Yeah.
past.
I've really had none. I have very little to no trash anywhere. A
Right.
couple of the parking lots, some of the late night kids are you know, watching the submarine races, as I like to say it. I gotta pick up some debris every now and then, but other than that, I've had very little to no issues at all when it comes to trash and any type of damage. So knock on wood, you know, it's been pretty good. So
Good,
that's
good,
all I really got for you guys.
good job.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, John.
All right, you're welcome. I'll come
Thank
every
you.
month, by the way. You keep sending me the reminders, and there's no reason I shouldn't be able to get to them. So, and the more I can keep you guys informed, the better.
Okay, excellent, John. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
John,
Thank you.
John,
Hey,
one
Mark.
question before you go.
Hold on,
How
Tom.
is Wyman's coming?
Wyman's is great. I haven't been out in that Norfolk recently, but the only problem they have at Wyman / that new Norfolk is it's all mud, and we're hoping that maybe we can get some processed gravel thrown in there by the DPW. I tried to go to hold of Bob Ruley. I haven't really heard back from him, but because the parking's a little hairy right now with the spring coming and all that. So we're hoping we can get some material just laid down so people the cars don't come out all trashed. But he's been great. He's helped me with a ton of stuff between me and Jimmy, Smalley helping us out, and you know, everything that we've needed. Every time I've needed anything, Paul has been there, you know, within
Right.
hours, if not a day, to help with different stuff. His support is amazing. He's a good guy.
Great. Good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. He's good big part of the team when you know, little things like that I need. He's just
Oh,
been
that was,
phenomenal.
this
Mr.
is a-
Small ain't bad either, huh, boss?
Yep.
But all right, I got Fireside downstairs. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thanks,
All
John.
right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
They,
Bye-bye.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
can we jump right into the pickleball just so we can get that off our plate?
We can jump in. It's going to be fairly quick, unless you've got a lot to add. But we've made our formal recommendations to the town manager's office that we accept the Bridgewater Pickleball Association. And Jim, I believe they accepted them just with some change to the hours, right?
Yeah, just the consensus is, maybe we'll start just a little bit reduced. We'll have them start at 7, end at 12. And then, you know, as maybe find out the feedback, I just didn't want to have them take too many hours up. And that was kind of the feeling of Uptown, and a lot of the rec commissioners I talked to personally were worried about taking up all that time. So 7 to 12
Jimmy.
and
Jimmy, that sounds way off the board. Mark, I was talking to you, what, a week ago? That's not even the times we talked about.
Well, we talked about the
That-
morning
that-
session. We talked about the morning session, and we talked
Jesus.
Monday through Friday. You and I talked about the morning and the afternoon, and then losing the weekends. That's what you and I talked about, correct?
Yeah, but it wasn't to 12. No one's going to be able to use it. Yeah, you got to keep it open to the general public too at some point.
Well,
At some
they
points.
wait, but
We got to figure
listen.
this out.
But they just had it. I think they maybe requested to like 11, like 7 to 11. So, or first
Yes.
thing in the morning to 11. So we give them 12, but we're not giving them the afternoon session. Mike doesn't want to give them the afternoon session.
I don't either.
Who's Mike?
Mike Dutton.
I
and they
personally
unbelievable.
think, and I voiced this before, that I don't want to see the pickleball whatever their formal name is. I don't want to see them make a monopoly of the courts. I was talking to somebody today who was asking about where this whole thing stood. And she said, so what if I want to take my grandchildren at 9 o'clock in the morning? I said, we'll see. But now, if they have 7 to, I don't know, 10 or 11, whatever time, is it for 6 courts?
Yeah,
I
it would be
think-
7 to 12. I mean, the thing with their grandson, I mean, if you're 4 years old, you ain't playing pickleball. And if they're 5, they're at school.
It's true.
Yeah, but you're gonna hit summer jump.
Let's
Well, then,
just
then
everybody
she
keep
shows
something
up
in
at
mind.
12 if he's not in school.
Just keep something in mind here. So towns accepted them as an organization, all right?
Right.
And those are the hours that they would like to see. Now if this falls under Park and Recs and now it's under Jim, and if Jim, wants our opinion, we can give it him. So if it's not working out, the hours aren't working, come June, if there's a problem with the hours and they're not working and there's complaints, Jim can adjust the hours. So this isn't
Okay.
something we have to go back to the town with every time. So this is something that we can actively watch. We don't have to watch it week to week, but we can take a look at it, go April and May, see what things look like in June. If there's an adjustment need, the biggest reason when they brought to us, their biggest concern about having the afternoon hours was just keeping the right crowd down there, I guess, because they had said down there, some smoking, marijuana and perhaps some drinking and things like that. We
But
don't want to
that's
get.
that's not up to
but it's-
them
but-
to monitor.
No, understandable. And now it's not their option, but they're given hours, they're given court time Monday through Friday. And we can, it can be adjusted. If we find it's too much, we're getting too many complaints, we can scale it back. Just keep in mind all the pickleball stuff we listen to and how long we listen to it. And collectively, this was the best group that, benefited Bridgewater the most. And I think we were all in agreement. So this may not be everything they want,
Mark,
but at least they've got something.
Mark,
Yeah.
that is so off. I'm going to tell you, that is so off, just off the trail. I've never heard. Do you know what the average age down in those courts are? Probably 50s, 60s. I've never seen anyone smoke pot or drink beers down there. It just isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't that. It isn't
Yeah.
that crowd. It just, it isn't young kids playing pickleball. It's just all
Well,
adults.
no, that's not what
So-
he's saying. He's just saying if that crowd that you're talking about is down there, then they're less likely to have any issues because they're going to be keeping an eye on it. But don't forget,
I'm just saying.
just because the hours are from 7 to 12 doesn't mean that the Pickleball Association isn't going to be playing at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5, at 6, 7, and 8. It's not like it's closed to them. It's just that they'll still be doing pretty much the exact same thing they're doing right now. Unless
Yep.
somebody shows up and wants to play, and then, we can hope that they'll, accommodate people that show up,
So
which I think they've done anyway.
say for example, I don't know, somebody wants to go and play April vacation or whatever. Somebody wants to go down with their grandchildren. I don't even know if the pickleball folks will be set up by then. But even into May, it's a weekday. The kids don't have school for whatever reason. They want to go down with a grandparent or a parent. The way I understand it from the pickleball people before, they will have to pay a $5 fee per person. I still don't agree with that.
I don't think we can, I don't know how that they said that, and I don't know how they're gonna charge people $5 a person. I mean, I just don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. They can't do that. I mean, if Little League has all their games and somebody wants to play, some people just can't show up and pay them $5 and play.
Yeah. So I mean, so exactly.
That's-
That was the argument I was going to make. You go down on a Wednesday night, and you want to play ball with your grandkid down the Little League fields, in May, there's no fields available. And that just is what it is because Little League's using all the fields. And guys, this is nothing we're married to long term. This is the trial and error. This is what we said, let's just see what happens. We have something, we have an organization. If they falter and it's a disaster, you know, we can meet with them, you know, this is something that we can adjust at any given time. And now it doesn't
Yeah,
have
if
to,
it doesn't work for the pickleball association, we can meet with them and reevaluate.
yes.
Yeah,
You know,
but-
that $5, hang on, the $5 is if, and again, I know it the $5 if somebody goes down while they're using the courts. Now you're giving them permission to use the courts from 7 AM to 12. Somebody goes in with their kids or whatever and wants to use them, it'll cost them $5 because we're allowing them to take over those courts, those 6 courts between 7 and 12. And so I understand that it's their courts. They're renting the courts from us.
But the only thing
Okay,
the only concern, yeah, the only concern I would have is, let's say 11 o'clock on a non-school day and there's nobody there, they shouldn't have to pay, or there's only two courts being used by the Bridgewater Pickleball Association. I shouldn't have to pay, right? It's just if I want to get into the rotation or whatever, I think. I mean,
and
Why-
that would
what
make,
if-
I don't think
That
they
would
can
make
pay
sense,
five.
Danny,
They
but-
can't. I don't think. I think the town manager, and when I talked to those guys, they were very concerned about the pickleball association charging people when they showed up, like $5. Like, hey, you owe us 5. You owe us 5. They're like they're booking those times. They have those times. If they want, somebody wants to play, then they have to join the associate. They were just worried about people charging, you know, by head. They just told me that they didn't think that there was a way that they could do it. They didn't think it was.
and if
I
they're
don't know.
saying
Who's
till,
they? Who's they?
Mike Dutton, when
Who's
I met
they?
with him, he said, "What do you mean people are going to be showing up for 5?" Actually, it wasn't even we met. It was they record all of our meetings and they were listening to the meetings and they said, "What is it with this $5? They can't be charging $5 to people that just show up." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I'll talk to them, but." I said, I think what we're going to do is, my plan was to do it just like every other league. We just, Little League, men's
Yeah.
softball. You know, if somebody shows up, wants to play with men's softball, they're
No, I
got
agree.
games going on.
I agree.
Yeah, that's,
Just like the basketball courts, when we built the Bridgewater Bridgewater basketball uses the courts during those times at night. We have the lights on, everything's being done. Totally agree. It's their courts between 7 and 12. That's what they have. And now other people come in, you know, because it's not an organized sport that, you know, we have teams or games, you know what I mean? That, you know, a game's gonna last X amount of
I
time.
mean, are they gonna fill those courts, the pickleball association, from 7 to 12? Will they be filled the whole time?
Danny, as of
they've got a
when
lot.
I leave,
They're big.
I go
I think they
a
might.
couple mornings to exercise classes at the senior center.
Yeah.
When I go-
Did someone answer yes or no? Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they are, Danny.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah.
The only
They-
concern I have is, what okay, is we are just gerbils on a wheel here. We're talking about the same thing. What I'm saying is, if I come down there and there's a 1:45 open and I'm a resident, I should be able to get on. But if it's sold out, like in the summertime here at the basketball courts, when they have biddy league, summer league basketball, they're full, so I can't go shoot hoops because it's blocked out. So if we block it out, they better be using it all the time, or we need to adjust the times moving forward, I
that's-
think.
right,
Okay.
that's something we can look at, you know, but
Right,
for
right,
now,
right,
that's their
yeah.
time, that's what they're, you know, like a basketball court,
Right.
you know, if it's in between
Well,
games.
was
the
it
court's empty, you wanna
originally
shoot.
7 to 11 we agreed on?
That's what we
Yeah, but 7 to
originally,
11, but also, like 4 to 6 or
4
4
to
to
8.
7 at
Also
night
4
too.
to
Oh.
8. So
Yeah, 4 to 8, so.
that's what they wanted, but we never agreed to that.
So,
Um,
okay, so we just,
Just,
right now, it's just
yeah.
7 to 12. They don't have the afternoon slot.
Danny,
Right.
to answer your question, when I leave exercise class at sometimes 10, sometimes I have coffee, it's 11.
Yeah, yeah.
Those courts, many times, are not filled at 11 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
So.
Maybe we
for
all
the-
could take turns just riding through, sometimes checking on it and make notes for the next meeting. Well, I don't know when it
Yeah.
officially starts, but
Gina's
Some,
retired.
some of
She-
us
she
are
can
not
get a-
retired.
Get a lounge chair.
I know, I
I'm
know.
retired and I'm down there a couple of
Hey,
times.
Mark,
a
I'm
week.
not either.
Yeah, Tom's.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Tom and I are the young ones here.
Yeah, but I even question the 7 to 12.
Well,
Because
let's just,
somebody
Oh,
wants-
well, it's adjustable. That's what it is for now. We just
Yeah.
gotta take a look at it. And
yep.
The only other question I have about this, Mark, is the Pickleball Association gonna designate one person to be the liaison, so we don't meet with like
Yes, yep, no,
five
it'll be
different
that,
people asking the same questions?
It's
it'll
Jeff.
be Jeff, no,
It is-
we'll deal with
It
Jeff
will be
on
Jeff?
this.
Okay,
And starting next month, Jeff will
Okay.
come to our meetings once a month. Now that we've,
okay.
now that's been officially put in and, Jim, have you reached out to Jeff yet, or you want me to do
No,
that?
I was waiting till after this, but I'll have Allison, shoot him an
Okay.
email or call him and tell him. I think she has a letter she gave me that's already printed up. I just didn't want to go with it until we went and had this meeting, and then we'll
Okay,
send it out to him and see what he says.
Yeah.
He's not
so-
on this boy. He's not on right now.
No,
Have
no,
you
I-
looked to
I-
see? You don't have it? Okay.
I didn't bring him on because I just wanted to, now that it's been
I-
approved by the town, bring it to you guys first,
Good.
and then, so start next month, we'll do it, and my suggestion is, he'll come in and give us a report in April and May, and the first June meeting, and then if we need to discuss something for a change in June, let's give him a couple months, to work some of the bugs out, and we never know what the weather's gonna be anyway, so, if we end up with a rainy April, it doesn't really matter, because they're not gonna play, but, and we'll just take a look at it if needed, on a month-by-month basis as we get through the season here.
It's too, yeah, when you get into July and August, same thing. It's gonna be just too
Yeah.
hot to play
Yeah, yeah,
after,
so
after
it's
the
something,
morning session.
yeah. Well, if there's gonna be complaints, we're gonna get them fast and furious, and they're gonna come, so we'll know, so.
Good.
The
Good, okay.
complaints that are not really complaints, comments I've heard right along, and I actually heard today from a couple of people. Why is it being charged if the town paid for the courts? So why is this group charging? And
Hasn't the town in some form or another paid for every field and everything we have here?
yes,
I know land's been donated and stuff, but at some point, it's just, this is new, and I get it, and I know people in the town paid for it, but I think it's a matter of control, because as one of the many, again, I've never played pickleball, I've been down there, I've met various people down there, but the concern was a lot of people were coming from everywhere, and this gave it some kind of organization, so that's just what Monday through
And-
Friday, that's how we're gonna organize.
Yeah. Mark, can I just address that? When I originally voted a year ago, or I think it was May or June, and for the morning hours, like 7 to 11, the rationale at the sales pitch that was given to us was there's so many out-of-towners that come, and if Bridgewater starts charging through the Pickleball Association or whatever, it will keep those out-of-towners out. That's why I voted for it, Terry,
Well-
to allow for, but wait a minute, to allow for more Bridgewater people to play.
Yep.
Then I talked to somebody who is very active and an active voice in this whole pushing for hours in the Pickleball Association. And she commented to me and said, oh, I have so many friends from out of town. They can't wait for us to form so they can join our association. So, and these are the people that were saying to us, oh, it's gonna keep out of towners out. So they contradict it.
Back in May
We
and
have to
June,
wait and see. We gotta wait and
Yes.
see.
Guy,
We-
the
we
guys
heard
who
a
are
lot
running
May
it
and
are
June.
really good people.
yeah,
They're
we
they're
heard a
really
lot in
good
May and June.
organizers.
Oh, I'm not, Tommy,
We-
Tommy, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them.
We met,
It's
when we
just
met-
they need to be consistent.
we met with Jeff
Yeah.
in November, and then that was, and I'd met with Jeff previously a few times, and then I know we talked to Tom and a few other people, but that they seemed like the best of what, and it's Bridgewater people organizing it. So as opposed to people from out of town that wanted to organize it in our town, which made no sense to me, but we heard them out. Now this is what we got. We agreed to it. Let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see what we got, and then we can adjust it at any time now. We can do whatever we want to do now. It runs through
No,
Jim's office and-
Mark, I just had a thought here. This new group, do they have a set of bylaws? Do you know?
Yes, I know Jeff was working on it. He was very organized.
Okay, so when we get those, maybe, hopefully we'll get a copy of them, but I don't know if it's too late to say that maybe the, board of directors or the executive board or whatever has to be a Bridgewater resident,
I believe they all are.
so no. Okay, but
currently.
maybe it should be in the bylaws, you know what I mean? It says, states that,
Good
so
point.
an
Yeah,
out of
but
town
I
person is
agree.
not.
Yeah.
I
We'll see
come
if
up
we
with
get a
one
copy of
good
the
idea every now and
bylaws.
then.
Not a bad idea to have them on file anyway at the office, so we'll see if we can get a copy of those.
Mhm, good.
Good job, Dan.
Thanks.
We're really proud of you.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Alright, anybody wanna talk about pickleball anymore, or do we wanna move on?
Well, no.
Get,
No.
get the, all I ask, Smalley, make sure you get
Yep.
that letter out. Because they're
Yep.
just, they're biting at the bit and they want to do a tournament and it's just, you know.
See,
Okay,
and I was told that, and it's before Jeff took over in charge. Cause I had suggested tournaments,
safe.
and I was told by a few, we don't want to get into running tournaments, it's too much work. Now they want to
Well,
run
that-
tournaments.
Well, that'll be
No,
up to them. That'll be
no,
up to
no.
them.
Yeah, that's separate, and that's a separate fee,
Let
but
that
that's something
go.
they have to apply to the Park and Rec office for that, and that's a different discussion for a different time.
Mhm.
Alright,
Thank you.
alright, moving on.
All right,
Alright.
let's move the question.
Okay. Some
Do we
old
need a
business.
vote?
No, we talked about scoreboards. Bridgewater Little League is working to secure donations and use some of their own funds to buy 3 new scoreboards down at Legion. And we gotta get some new steel down there and concrete and get the steel. I said we'll take care of getting the concrete and setting the steel one way or another through donations or something, because the company that Little League is getting the scoreboards from, scoreboards are like 10 grand a piece. They want like 13 grand a piece to put the footings in, the steel, and to install them. So
What a
that was
deal.
yeah. So I'm like, no, because in the grand scheme of construction, a couple of footings and a couple of steel beams on the ground really isn't a big deal, and it's not worth $13,000 to $15,000 each. So
Did you talk to Ashmont?
I
Ashmont
personally have not
Welding?
yet. I know the guy from Bridgewater Little League reached out, but I will if I have to. And I know Mike has offered to
He's-
bring a machine down or whatnot, help us dig the holes.
Yeah.
So I feel confident we can do that. The only thing that's a little different, just to make you guys aware and get your opinion on, Jim and I walked the field down at Hayes Field, and I talked to Bridgewater Little League about this, and they didn't have an issue. But moving that scoreboard is like down the right field foul line right now. Moving it to
Yep.
right field. There's power right there on one of the light posts that lights the field up. So it's an easy tap in for the power. It can go, because what Jim was trying to do when we lost the pole down there is try to get as much electric underground versus above ground, and it seemed like a pretty simple solution. So everybody was
So you're
fine.
talking, the Hayes Field, it's kind of like just beyond first base now. You want to move it down to right field, you said? Is that?
Yes, yep. So it's in
Yeah,
right
that's
field.
fine.
Yeah, it doesn't block the access road. It's actually a much better
Okay.
location for it.
Oh, yeah, I agree, yeah.
So if you guys don't have any issues
My
with
next,
that,
my next question was gonna be the access road. They'll still have
Yep.
get emergency vehicles by that if they have
Yep.
to, right?
yep, because you've got plenty of room in there to get the footings in, the steel and everything, so it won't block anything. All right, so if that's good, that's that. Jim, dugouts. I know we've got questions on the majors field, but the other ones, you're gonna do the slabs for those?
Yep, we got those, we kicked them off here. We're just waiting for the rain to kind of get out of here. And, we'll have those things, should have them done by, either the end of this week or the first couple of days next week. We'll have them all poured and all set to go. You know what I was wondering though, what about that, the lower stone dust? We don't even have anything there.
No, we don't, and potentially I wanted some there, but then with everything that's gone on with the majors field, we just think
I was
because where
just
there's so
thinking down the road here, putting it all in, the, long range capital plan, just to
yes,
try to see. if we
yes,
can
at some
get
point, and they
all
also
of it
they also need
dug
more
out
fence.
same.
They need more fencing down there on lower stone dust as well, because it doesn't conform with Little League safety rules as we are right now. But that's something we can put in for too. We can get some prices on that, extending the fence line both down the field, right and left field
does-
foul lines.
When does Little League start?
Little League starts practices the week before April vacation. Majors division starts some of their games. Everybody else starts the week after April vacation.
Okay.
When's opening day? They have an opening day ceremony still?
Yes, it is. on the
Usually
days-
right around vacation, isn't it?
It's the first Saturday after vacation. I think it's, you know when it is? I'll tell you when it is, Dan. I think we're still looking for a
It must be
national.
the 20,
Um,
probably
the
the 20th or
27th.
something.
27th is the official opening day for the ceremony.
okay.
There'll be games before that, but the opening ceremonies will be that day. All right. Okay.
Good.
Jim, just touch upon something from last 2 meetings ago. I know it was a little while ago in December, but that Nation Fitness, somebody that reached out to you, was that ever anything, or did that?
I dropped it because, like anything else, they were looking for us to match. And, it was gonna be like, I
That's
think it was gonna be like 80,000. And then,
Wow.
you know, like 1,500 a year for maintenance, and then
Yeah.
a lot of like, I just saw it as being kind of like an issue as far as like a liability down the road if we didn't maintain it. And I'm like, come on, this is, if it was free, it would have been kind of a little different, but
And what was that for, Jim?
it was like one of those,
Oh, I remember
use
you
your
sent
weight
us.
type workouts. It, you know,
Yep, I
you
remember
kind
you
of,
sent it to us.
yeah, it was, I liked it, but like anything else, I thought it was just gonna be, because they said it was kind of, they led you to believe there was grants that they were gonna give you, and that really wasn't the case.
okay.
I wish it was.
All right. That's all. All right. Under new business. General field updates or anything, Jim, that's
We got into them like a week ago there when it finally got dry. We dragged everything kind of, turned it all over, raked them clean, edged them. I did get one of the lips in front of Senior. We got that all sod cut out and laid level, there's no lip anymore there. It's just so much work to try to do it, just with us guys. So I didn't want to try to rip up the whole entire field. We just would have never got it back down. But I figure the one right in front of the plate's probably the worst as far as being a safety issue. With, kid hits a ground ball, thing goes off that lip and hits the kid in the mound or, second base in the face. And that's not good. So we got that. And then we're going to, we'll see what we can do. I heard from Sodco, they're going to start cutting sod pretty soon here. So we might be able to address those lips before, the problem is I don't like to get too far down the road into the growing season with sod.
right.
Because
Yeah.
you just got to babysit it. It's a pain in the neck to keep alive. It's different if it's golf course bunker faces or something where nobody's really on them. You can rope them off, but you can't really rope off the infield.
Yeah, we've got a meeting tomorrow night at Bridgewater Little League subcommittee, just talking about the field and one of the things focused there, because I know they got some prices from Rad Landscaping to potentially do certain things, and then I know they'd met with you too, but we'll come up with some kind of game plan that works for us for this spring. Obviously, we can't blow the whole thing up now, but we'll get something that we can that works in conjunction with everybody for moving forward, so that when the fall comes, we can, attack it properly and try to redo that infield. But
I talked to a guy that I had come look at a couple of valve boxes on the Senior field about getting irrigation in the outfield, and he thought we were looking at even right now with the prices that we're looking at with inflation, it was $5,000, and he said the guy could be out of there in 4 hours.
well,
I go, you kidding me? He goes, no. He goes, these guys don't play games. I'm like, oh wow, that's. I thought it'd be a lot more. So I guess it's just a matter of getting somebody down there to take a look, see if we have the right amount of gallons per minute of pressure for our irrigation that we have existing with our pump system. But after that, it might be doable. So that'd go along.
Hey, Jim.
Yep.
Who would you have to bring in to check that, to see if you have enough power, you have enough water? Or
I got
a
a
bigger
guy-
pump would you need?
No, I think the kid that from Site One came over and helped me with this. He's got like a wire tracer. I had a couple of valve control valves that were lost. So he found it, and he mentioned the guy's name. He goes, I can give you like 3 or 4 names right off the top of my head. He said, the first guy, he goes, that guy he could have it done in like 4 hours. I think they're all kind of like that, but so I was surprised. I'm just used to, you know, they gave me a price for our irrigation at the golf course. It was 1.5 million. So $5,000 in 4 hours was, that was
$5,000
nice.
sounds incredible.
That was nice to hear.
It sounds like a great price.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's
Yeah.
what I said. 4 hours. I'm like, even if you double that and it's a day, even if it's 2 days, who cares? I didn't know it was that quick.
Well, that'll help
Part of
the
the
wear and
track
tear
out
from
back there,
football as well
wasn't it?
too, so.
Way back. Wasn't it like a
Yeah, and I was
hole or
talking to
something?
those guys about
Yeah.
trying to get
What was
those,
he
you know,
talking
if we can
about?
get off of
Yeah,
7A
the
and
big
7B
field.
and off of the
I
senior
was gonna ask, I
outfield
saw
and
it the other day. It's a big funnel yesterday.
Yeah,
But
I
you-
was, I had some ideas too, but, a lot of people on football didn't like those ideas, and,
Oh, no.
I'm not going to do, there's somebody on there that I like and respect a lot, that's done a lot for the town and done a lot for us, and is a close family friend, and I didn't feel like having that fight. So, temporarily, my plans of moving some of the football kids to, Scotland, I'm gonna table that desire for the time being, as long as that
Oh,
person
man.
is on board. Afterwards, maybe it's a different conversation, but, sometimes you gotta pick and choose your battles, and I'm not fighting that one, so. Just because he does a lot, so I don't want to, I don't want to.
Yeah, but I mean, Mark, just a question, I guess, point of information. That would be up to us, not if we had to. I'm not saying we have to, right? I mean, if
No,
the
no,
need
yeah,
was,
no,
we
it
could-
is. No, we could force it,
Yeah.
Dan. We could definitely force
Yeah.
it. And,
I'm not suggesting that, but yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. But it's right now, for me right now, being in only my second year involved with the
Right.
football organization, for me, it's not something but I'm not opposed to it if you guys want to travel down that road. I just think for right now, we're better off passing, because in 2 years, I think it's not going to be an issue. And then I don't have to worry about things on my
Right.
end, but that doesn't mean we don't have to do it, you know. But if we get irrigation if we get irrigation to the outfield on the big field, that's going to help a lot, because that field gets beat up from
Yeah.
football. So that's actually going to help a lot. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you had
um,
irrigation, it's a lot easier to bring it back in the spring, even if they beat the tire out of it.
Scotland.
You could always
What,
aerate it
what,
after football's
Yeah,
over
right.
and overseed it, and you could get it back in the spring, but without having irrigation, it's kind of tough.
And then going along those lines too, you know, we do that possibly this year or something, you know, for the irrigation, and on that field, and hey, maybe we can bring it to 7A and 7B at some point too for that kind of price, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that has
Yeah.
irrigation there. That stuff has
Does it?
irrigation. Yeah, it's not good, but it has it. It's just the problem with that is it's all tied in with Hayes and Lazaro, and if you run it the amount you need to run it, it
Gotcha.
runs from like 9 o'clock at night till like 12:31 in the afternoon.
Yeah. So it'll kill those fields, flood out those fields. I got you.
Yeah,
So maybe
and
that's
then,
something
you
we can
know,
look
so-
into, maybe adjusting it or whatnot, but I think there's some answers there that could be had.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be the big one if we could get them off that field. That would be huge.
Yeah. Or let's say down the road, that field was
Yeah.
turf, and it wouldn't be a concern, right?
Yeah, right, right. Turf the whole
All right.
place.
Hey,
Okay.
so I have one question for Jimmy regarding the fields. It just kind of ties in with the big diamond out there. And maybe I was just walking, I cut through on my walk yesterday through the field to get home. And I noticed an inordinate, I know we had a lot of rain, but to me, there was an inordinate amount of water, Jimmy, out in right center field and then into the little walkway between the football field. Does that always happen with a lot of rain?
Yeah,
It was almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just low. That spot's just low, but I'm hoping maybe we could do a kind of a renovation on that thing and get it all level.
Well, yeah.
You know,
Make this clay.
My point, I guess I'm leading up to is if we're gonna put irrigation in there, we gotta resolve that drainage problem first, wouldn't we, or something?
well, I think
don't
it's a
know.
matter of pitch. Like if you picked a center line from the second base all the way to the center field fence,
Yeah,
and then if I'm looking at it from home plate, you know, the right side,
Yeah.
you'd want to pitch to, and then the left side, you want to pitch towards third, and then, but you know, that, I don't think that's as big of a deal. I don't think we'd be able to sod it, but, I think if we could have someone come in with, you know, with a grader, with a bulldozer and just kind of
Yeah,
get it all set, I could,
yeah,
and if we could keep them off in the fall, I think I could seed it and have it all grown in before, the start of the season in April, middle of April.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jimmy, have you ever dug down? There's
No, I
just
haven't
top-
really looked
there's
at the
just top
subgrade
gravel.
that much.
No, I'm just saying, I'm going back 30 years. That was all fill out back there. It was fill and cinder. Was that whole backfield was not what you see today. It
So
was,
Yeah,
maybe
there
there's
used to
lot
be
of,
a
like, stone
cinder-
rust underneath it.
no cinder.
well, it used to be a cinder track that went around the football field, so where I'm talking about, when, like, behind the goalpost and kind of by the
Yep.
football scoreboard, there was a quarter-mile track that was, it was all cinder, stone dust type of thing.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
can
now
still
since
see it.
grown in. Yeah, you can still see the outline sometimes.
Yeah, in the,
But
in the,
I don't know if
like
that's
July,
caused it,
you
but
can
I'm
see
just
it.
saying. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, yesterday, it seemed to me, and it was kind of around dusk, I was cutting through there. It just seemed like an inordinate amount of water, and I didn't know if it's like that all the time, because I know we've had a lot of rain, but it just seemed, and before we do anything I just thought it's something to talk about. I mean, I don't have an answer. I'm not, a landscaper or anything like that, but it just seemed like a lot of water that, I don't even know, it's probably still sitting out there today.
Oh, yeah.
It would be
It's just been
unplayable. Let's
some-
put it, yesterday would have been, that field would have been unplayable yesterday,
I think if we
I
get,
know
I
it's this
think you're
time of
right,
year,
though.
but I'm
that-
saying if we,
I think a lot of it too might
Something
be like the buildup underneath those fences, you know, it's just weird. Like,
Yeah,
it's just, I guess it's just because maybe we don't weed whack or something, but you know, it's just, once they get built up to those bottom rails, it seems like it has nowhere to go. You almost have to go around and keep, you know, edging, cutting
Yeah.
underneath those things and keeping them clean.
okay, thank you.
All right.
Any golf course update, Jim?
I know they're open. I know they had the cops over there today driving around looking for 4 prisoners or something.
Yeah. Guys that,
But the golfers, I expected it to be like kind of like closed down, but I drove by and I'm like, oh, they're out there playing. They didn't seem to care. I guess they got, you know, 12, 13 clubs with them. They're not worried about it.
yeah,
They've been busy. I know that.
on the
When they,
nice
you know,
day.
when the snow's gone finally, but
Let's
Mark,
see.
can
Yep.
you ask, I know we've asked many times, I've asked Michael Dutton in other meetings that I talk to him and I bring it up. We've asked for a breakdown comparing when the town ran the course versus the management company. Michael tells me it's an easy report to generate, but it's taken a couple years. Can you ask for that?
Yeah, I can
or
ask for it. I
Jim?
can, yeah, because that's something I've been looking at too with some of the numbers, what we used to do up there. And then with the numbers comparison.
And I'm curious too, somebody just told me, and you guys might know better, that they were saying that Scotland, the league that they play in at Scotland went up in price and they went up quite a bit. I don't know.
But I think I'm sorry, I
don't
think
know
they
if
might have
it's-
added a couple dates.
Okay, this was the ladies' league, Danny.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought the Thursday night league, I think it went up a little bit, but they added at least 1 or 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, maybe they did that for the ladies, but I'm just
I,
curious.
don't quote me
if-
on that. I looked at it quickly and it seemed like it was at least 1 or 2 more dates.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
was
what-
just curious if the management company went up or the leagues went up on their own. Maybe, like you said, adding dates.
I don't know. I'll look into that.
I'll
Okay,
find out about
good.
the numbers though. I'll find out about the numbers. What do you want me to go 5 years back before they took over? Is that
Yeah.
a fair assessment?
Yep.
Okay.
I would
5.
say.
Okay. Let me see what I can dig up. All right, playground
And if-
update. Oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry, Gina, you have something?
No, if we can have, when the management company took over, they were
Mhm.
supposed to come to so many meetings to update us. I think they've come to one or two. Maybe, and I think we said we could have them back like once a year or twice a year.
Okay,
If we could have them just come to a meeting to give an update.
maybe quarterly, maybe we'll do it quarterly
Yeah, that's good.
with maybe 3 times, what, 3 times during the weather, one, we'll figure, 3 or 4
Yeah.
times.
Sounds good.
We can do now, okay. Playground update, Jim, with,
Yeah,
just some of the equipment being
we're doing
replaced.
pretty good. We when it got warm about 2 weeks ago, we went up and put some JB weld on those rings, those
Yep.
rings had a little piece missing. And then we sanded it down, painted it. That looks good. We finally have all the parts in for the climbing wall. We just got to throw that thing up. That tire swing, I'm still waiting. We did order. They never sent us. There's I don't know if you remember. There's a universal up at the
Yes.
top there.
Yep.
That thing they never. I don't know why, but it didn't come with the parts with the tire swing and the chain. So I had Allison reach out to him, told her what we needed. He said, I guess he shipped it. So I'm looking for that. They did give us the whale. So I'm thinking we just got to go back and kind of uncover that.
Yeah,
Remember there was whatever the lag bolts there.
Yep.
Bolt that thing in and we should be good.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much all of that stuff. I think the swings, we have the swings, we're gonna hang those up too. So we got
other-
some.
obviously, one other thing we have to do at some point is 2 things. One, you're gonna bring some more wood chips in or something, or for the Cottage Street playground too. Under
Yeah,
where the
we
swings stuff
we
go.
did that.
I just see some pits under there the other day, and
We did.
yeah, they just
We
seemed a
did
little
that
bit.
right after she
Yeah,
looked at it, we brought them in.
Or maybe we can just get them raked under where this after you install the new swings. Maybe just rake them down there and I don't know, keep it somewhat.
Okay.
Hey, Jimmy, do we have money from the Oliari fund
No,
to
we're all done with
there's
that.
no money in that? Oh, really?
No, they kind of
Okay.
ditched
I
us.
thought
The town put money in. Right when I started, we had 10 grand for different whatever. It was basically for mulch, but we used a lot of it for having that thing inspected and then buying all these broken parts, replacing
all
all
right,
the
so
stuff.
you know what? I think when we do our budget, we got to put money away every year to keep that playground up to snuff. And
Yeah, we're gonna
what
have
do
to.
you
We're
need?
gonna have to put in for
5,000?
just preventative. I'm thinking at least. Yeah, at
5
least.
to 10? Okay.
Yeah, five to 7,500, something like that.
Yep. Just to be
Yeah.
safe. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but just to keep it up so it's so it's safe.
Yeah, I would say for all the playgrounds there, just to constantly maintain, now that we've had them inspected, just to make sure they're, where they need to be. So, all right, it's good there. Just has to be quick. This does not have to be expansive or anything. Jim, does pickleball? Or you probably found tomorrow when you talk to Jeff, or do they have an opening date in mind, like roughly, or is it just weather can?
Yeah, I don't know what you guys were thinking. I mean, I was thinking like April 1st, and I don't know what I guess for their opening day, it would be when they were gonna start like officially kind of opening up the membership and charging, but we should probably have all those old winter, you don't want to call them old, they're pretty nice, but the winter nets out of there and the permanent nets and posts up. But I was thinking like April 1st of getting that stuff out, but I'll ask him when he thinks he's gonna, kind of run. I think the thing you guys talked about was April 1st to October 31st was kind of this, what I saw for
season?
when it would run.
Yeah.
But
Are
again,
they gonna
whenever
have weekends?
no weekends.
No weekend time.
That way they
Okay.
can,
Is-
I think they can, people can get on there and not go up there and have somebody tell them that it's
Sure.
there's an association playing.
Yeah, that way it's not
I
7.
agree with you, Jimmy. I agree we set those dates, but should we do another motion just to put it in the minutes that those are the dates that are officially that the town is
Yeah, that
opening up
wouldn't
the
hurt.
courts? So I'd like to make a
Yep.
motion that the rec commission recommends to the town manager that the season or the opening and closing dates for the pickleball courts would be opening date April 1st, closing date October 31st.
That you can hold that
Okay.
motion, but just for a sec, it doesn't. We don't need approval for that now. This all falls on Jim, so we can make a motion to have Jim approve that if we want, but that doesn't have to go back to the town manager's
Okay.
office. Just so it's noted.
Okay. I'll just, yeah, if you want to rewrite that or
Yeah, to
reword
just-
that, that's fine.
Dan's motion, so just a motion to allot their season, April 1st to October 31st.
Right, yep.
Second,
Second,
and second is Tom. All in favor?
right,
All right,
Aye. Okay, is that 3-1? All right. All
Yeah.
opposed? Are you in favor or are you just
Um,
napping over there?
I'm debating because I still question that hours, but we're not voting on the hours for that, we're voting on the
we're
season.
voting on the days, the calendar
Yep.
days, yes.
All right, we'll call it.
Yeah.
We might
I'm-
give 'em-
I'm-
I might make a motion to give them 24 hours a day.
Okay, I'm voting no on that.
Yep.
Just because I think they're taking like every morning for.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I'm perfectly happy with reviewing it, we'll give them a couple months, we'll review it.
For 1
And,
month then.
and,
month
and
of
it can
April.
change, so,
Right.
we'll go from there. I gotta jump back on one thing real quick. I forgot, because we got caught up with pickleball as usual. Field usage fees, that was also recommended. The stuff we talked about was recommended to the town manager's office. Club teams have been informed of this. I had a nice discussion with Glenn Tufts the other day. It was amicable, but it ended up with Glenn saying, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna do what I always do, and I'll give Smalley a check for 2,000, and then we'll revisit it." And I was like,
No,
"Okay,
no.
okay," but we'll come up with a way with Allison. Will be Allison Johnson will be doing the schedule and whatnot. To my understanding, Jim, I think that's what we kind of agreed
Yeah,
upon. And
I had her send them out just a email just to say, get your schedules in because we have interests. Not that we're, I want to be careful, but it wasn't worded that like basically if he doesn't get it in before somebody else, he's not going to have a spot. But basically, we should get it in because time's running out. We want to be able to set our schedule up and know where everything is on what field and kind of organize it. So
I made it clear to him that there were other teams interested as well, and it was kind of a first come first serve, not first come first pay in the insurance, because I know insurance was an issue too, providing insurance
Yep.
coverage, at least proof of it. So he knows where we stand. I don't know if he's more than willing to we'll have Allison. He'll give his 10,000, his 2,000. That covers 10 games. And then after that, we start hitting him with invoices, and just. But there's more to it than that too. It's not just Glenn. We'll also include. I've got the contact information for the money guy from Nakona, so we'll
Yep.
copy him in on the emails. And to my understanding, once he gets involved, because everybody says the money's there, which we knew anyway, that will be that it should get paid. So.
yeah,
okay, hey, Mark,
Yep.
are the fees been posted? Is it on our website? Is
No,
it?
it's not posted yet
Have we
because
sent it out?
they
Because
just
you gotta get it out. If you're gonna go and say it, and like you talked to Glenn,
Mhm.
you gotta have it posted to show that everyone that we're not just going after Glenn. Everyone's gonna have.
Yeah,
it,
no, well, he
because-
was, no, we'll get it posted. I think Allison, she sent it to the town recently, but we just gotta get their feedback. But to my understanding, they had no issues with any of that. Mike had no issues with any of that. Unless you've heard otherwise, Jim. So yeah, we can get it, we'll get it posted and put out there. So it has,
That's
and
the
I,
new government.
and he was told that, it was everything, and because I know one of his concerns was he felt like he was the only one paying. And I said it's just not, Biddy pays, but anybody that uses it is going to be paying. And like I had discussions with Little League and stuff, and I think the big thing is we want to keep this, everything handled as adults and whatnot. And if that's what the fees are, you pay the fees. If it becomes a problem with people using and not paying, we can address it then. But we hope it doesn't come to an issue where we're putting gates on the fields. But we'll see how it all goes. We can. It wasn't a bad conversation with him. It was just we spent 25 minutes talking on the phone, and then he just resorted right back to the way things have always been. And I was like, all right.
So, Mark, how much, if he didn't go back to the way it's always been, how much would it be with our new fee schedule?
What we figured, Jim, around $7,000, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Play 70 to 80 games, so you're looking at, you call it
70 games, $100 a game. Right?
$7,000, right?
I think from what I just saw, it was that thing she put out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was 60 a game.
It's 60 a game, and so it's right around there. But and we can discuss this, and we're not doing anything outrageous, with fees in comparison to other towns. So if we're doing anything, if we want to make any kind of adjustment, and even if we want to, they're grouping it, if we want to call it, because the games go 2 hours, they have 2 hour time limits, so everything's kind of figured at 2 hours. But I mean, even if he wants to play ball or anyone to play ball and they want to pay up front, I personally have no issue if they're getting, we do, instead of $120 a game, $100 a game. I don't care about that, but that's up to the commissioners and Jim. Ultimately, Jim, you have the final word on that. But we can do either one. I don't care. But the purpose is to generate money, because we have to generate money for Jim to put directly into the fields quickly, not stuff that has to go before town council twice to be approved and everything else. I know Jim, just to bring you guys to speed a little bit, Jim had put in for the dugout and some other capital improvements there, and some of that stuff was scheduled to be approved as late as the 1st of June. But that doesn't do Jim any good when we have to get dugouts up on Upper Stone Dust, and we have to get some other things going, stairs, some other items. There's some things that just have to get done. Now, the field, the structures of the field are very much outside of the snack shack, which also needs some maintenance. The other ones need a lot of maintenance, and we need to put money into those. They're just sad to look at, and this is the best way for Jim to be able to do that, and have a budget, something he can actually work with. And as long as, we collect the money that we should be collecting, we potentially can make up to $10,000 this baseball season alone on club fees that Jim can use to go into the field. So, and that's a very real number. That's not a stretch. That's a real number. So,
no, I think it's a great idea. I think it is. So if we keep those numbers posted and everyone knows what it is, there won't be any arguments.
Yep.
But you don't have them posted to be arguments. I never knew that.
And
we have up on the website.
Yeah, and we have a category for profit and nonprofit groups.
Yes, we were going to do that too. Yes, because the nonprofits, we didn't. Church group wants to come and use it. As long as they're not worshiping Satan, I've got no issue. But other than that,
okay,
I'm fine. But and I know there's groups out there to do it. It's fine, but I'll dig my heels in for that one. All right, that covers that. Anybody have any additional items, things they'd like to talk about? Gina, don't sit there quiet.
We're good.
I know you're thinking about something.
No, actually,
motion to adjourn.
No, this was brought to my attention the other day, and it was somebody commenting that their kids learn to swim from my nieces and nephew running the swim program at the college. College took it over, which was fine. It's their pool, but they're not having any swim lessons this year. So somebody said, well, why can't the town run it again. And obviously we don't have a pool and we're
Yeah.
not going to. But a lot of towns use outside lakes and ponds. It's just something, a seed to plant.
Yeah, we, as of right now, you know, there's, like, I think of the running club, like, there's nothing we could do for that right now, and we don't have the facilities or the lakes or ponds in town that we could really use to, you know, to provide anything like that. That's all. I mean, you guys know the town better than I do, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, the only,
Gina, you should, Gina, you could be the director and run them up at the nip. Actually, if we get a wet summer, we could have the out in the outfield of the big diamond, we could do
There
it.
you go.
I'm just
Oh, we
being,
could
I'm
have
being a
that.
wise
The
guy.
other-
I'm being a wise.
the other pool that pond that was mentioned, but is kind of on the outskirts, is the pond at the prison. You know which one I mean, Danny?
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
on me.
yeah, but I know.
Yeah,
the one
no,
you
no, that's
But
a
mean.
whole nother
it's
thing
kind
too.
of on
Now
the
we're-
outs.
yeah.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts and it's, I think it's state
Yeah,
land.
yeah. that's-
Yeah, then we'd have to get lifeguards for that. No, that's a,
Yeah,
you'd be better off approaching the college to see if you can get it like we used to do. You know, but I don't mean,
Well, they're
That's-
closed for renovations this summer.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
so,
So, you know what?
Well, we'll save it for
But it-
next year.
But it was just something the person
Mark's gonna be the
mentioned it
lifeguard.
and asked that I pass
those
it on.
days are
so-
gone.
Yes, I
I'll
passed it
I'll
on.
teach the backs. I'll teach the backstroke. I do that pretty well.
Okay.
Real quick,
Anyway,
Yep.
I
To make,
I
I
had a
no, hold your motion, real quick, so a little bit of good news, a little bit of good news.
All right.
So, and we're gonna be one of the first groups potentially to do this, and essentially as soon as next month. We might be able to be the first group to hold a hybrid meeting. We'll just be at Town Hall. I'm gonna meet up with Josh, who's gonna train me on how to use the room there. And then
Academy building.
at the Academy building, so we can have in-person meetings and hybrid, so we can all meet in person. And then if anybody can't meet, if Mike's still sunning himself or people down wanna tune in, they can still tune in Zoom, but we'll be able to meet in person anyway, so
Good job.
step in the right direction anyway, so we're getting there.
Yep.
That's good.
Okay,
On
now you
that
can-
positive note,
Yep.
I would like to sadly make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second, all in favor?
Okay, one discussion
Aye.
before we do that.
No,
Real
Gina,
quick,
Gina,
No,
Gina.
no, there's a motion on the floor. There's a
there's
motion on the
discussion
floor.
too. I just wanted noted.
No,
when
no, you
Allison-
can only discuss the motion. You can only discuss the motion. You can't bring up new business now. I don't think, but
Okay,
you're going to, so.
I'm going to anyways. Just to make
I know.
sure that when
Wow.
Allison does the minutes and she
Yep.
puts members present.
Yep.
Because yes, we hear Danny's voice and we know he's there, but if you listen to the recording and it shows the people, it's not gonna show him.
It's
So
it's
just
good.
make
I'm doing a better
Yeah.
job of noting who motioned stuff and who's here.
Can you see me?
Allison, so when she goes over it, she can see it, so.
Okay, I saw you, Danny. Hi.
All in favor?
Okay,
Aye.
I'm done.
All right,
How
Hi.
can you miss this big head?
All
all
right,
right, guys, have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, you
All right.
too.
Bye,
Bye.
Danny.
Thank you.
I'll meet you over at.
Meeting
No, I'm
adjourned.
going home.
uh,
Eight
I already
twenty.
ate. I already ate. No. I already ate. No.
hang on.